1, 2, 3, 4. Good morning, everybody. Yeah, it's the next day, and today I'm going to tackle replacing all the brake cables. What we have already are Jaguar cables. Whoops, won't focus. Yeah, so there's already wire cables. They're very good. They could be left there. It's just that I'm crazy like that. I want orange cables to match the bike, the spirit of the bike. And we're going to redo it properly. See those crazy curves, way too long. The angles are wrong. This should be straight. And yeah, I mean, I don't know when these cables were changed. Was it at the same time the bullhorns were installed, or rather, the race handlebars were installed, or did they keep the same wires and just put the new handlebars in so it didn't fit perfectly? I don't know. Doesn't matter. I'm going to change it. So for the job today, I installed the jaw on the seat post rather than using the horizontal tube, because when I put the jaw here, well, I don't have access to the cables anymore. So this had to be moved out of the way like that. And I set up just next to the bike this this table that I usually have in my radio room. So I'm going to use it here. I have all the tools that I'll need, most likely. Yeah, I don't have, like they suggest a really good pair of wire cutters. I'll just have these small ones I use for radio repairs usually. So I'm going to use probably something heftier. Metal cutter shears there, most likely. But yeah, the Jaguars are really nice. Packaging was incredible, and that's what I'm going to be doing today. I'm still waiting for the wire spacer plier thing. It should come in today, but I suppose I have time to at least remove the old wiring, put the new housing, and start to rewire everything. And when I'm done with that, I should have the new pliers in and start adjusting the brake pads. Yeah, so that's the plan for today. Be right back. So yeah, I'm back. It's been at least a week since I last did any footage or work on the bike, because I had to wait for parts, and in the meantime, the transformer came in from Germany for the Saba, so I did a little bit of work on that, and basically the radio is working now. I just had to adjust the voltage. So why was it so long? Well, mostly for this guy, the new bottom bracket. Apparently, it's not a common size. The diameter, 68 millimeter, is still produced, but apparently the 113 millimeter spindle length is not common. They don't seem to be making it anymore. And I can tell you it's day and night between the old one. The old one still turns, but it's noisy. I mean, this is beautiful. Can't wait to install it. So I had to wait for that. But last time I did shoot anything, I was just about to start working on the cables. Yeah, putting the new brake cables. And I had my kit. I had my Jaguar kit, which is supposed to be for Road Pro brake cable kit. On the description, they say it's compatible with SRAM, Shimano, Rode, all that. They even said it was the endings were universal. Well, universal my ass. Let me tell you that. What they have is something. It's like the usual mushroom for the race bikes, road bikes, yes, but with the drop down handles. So it's not completely mushroom round. There is a flat here, so that's why I guess they called it universal, but it doesn't fit on my regular old school brake handles. So I had to order a kit. I paid like $20 for that, and it came with it's full of stuff. The box is full of stuff. I even have noodles for a mountain bike, cable endings, two different a lot of housing cables, and two different types of those cables. And yeah, they have what I needed. You see those cylindrical round? That's basic. That's old stuff, But yeah, Jaguar do not have the same understanding of what a road bike is than I do. One of us is right, the other one is wrong. Other thing that I could do, remember those? I wanted to change the brake pads, but I couldn't find the pads alone, the rubber pads, so I had to buy those. And they're nice, very nice, but they were brushed, and the originals were more chrome. They were nicer. So I wasn't sure if removing this screw would allow me to slide the rubber pads out. I wasn't sure if it was going to be compatible, but sure enough, make a long story short, yes, they are. It's almost universal. So those are the old ones, just so I don't lose them. And I wanted to show you, I don't know if you're going to be able to see this, but see how shiny some parts are? Well, those are metal shards embedded inside. Not kidding. Yeah. Some of them, when I removed them, some were behind, some were deep inside, some were in this groove here. So, yeah. And see how uneven the wear is. Much thicker here. So, yeah, they had to go. Very happy I did. Other delay. Well, this I had already ordered. And as you can see, I show you on the B-roll how it works. It just it's a cable stretcher, but it's so useful. Okay, so you put the cable here, and when you stretch it like that, it makes the pads touch the rim, and then you just have to lock the screw, and your cable's in place, and then you just use the adjuster, and you get the right spacing, the right tension on your brake, on your calipers. But also, remember I said I was going to cut the braided steel wires, steel cables with metal shear? Well, forget it. I underestimated how hard those guys are. It's impossible. So I had to get a pair of those. Just really made for braided cable, steel cable. And they really cut. It's incredible. Absolutely needed this. The Park Tool equivalent is, I don't even want to tell you how much it costs. Although they have the crimper either in the center or a crimper here. So yeah, they're nicer, but $100, come on. I think I paid 20, not even, I think I paid 14 or 15 for those. They do the job, as you can see. And yeah, it works well. I got the brakes adjusted, and I'll have to, the only thing left to do well, aside from getting a new set of clip-on pedals, will be to install this guy. So I might do this tomorrow. Yeah, very nice. Isn't it beautiful when it's clean? When it's brand new like that? Wow. So yeah, just going to put the, I got to cut the cable on the front brake and put the end cap, crimp it on. But I'm pretty much done with the brakes. Yeah, compared to how they were before, I mean, they were, the black wires were so incredibly high. It was, no, it didn't make sense to me. So now it's much, much better. And at least Jaguar kit came with rubber protectors. So that's good. It won't rub against the frame as it did before. It was scratching the tubes like crazy. So now, whatever happens, and I did, better curves everywhere. So I think it makes more sense, and the color, especially the colors. Yeah. So I'll get back when I start working on the bottom bracket. I have to determine if I'll need the spacers or not. Yeah, there were two millimeters spacers, and from what I can tell, it might. I just left one, and I think it's going to push the belt a little bit too close to the one of the triangles. So yeah, maybe I'll remove it altogether. I'll check that tomorrow. Yeah, be back as soon as I can, guys. So yeah, there you have it. I have all the housing installed and the front brake is done. So yeah, we'll look at the footage. But before that, I mean, the wires were crazy, going way too high. At least like that, it's cleaner. And the wheel turns, there's no problem there. They don't stretch, they're okay. And yeah, maybe I can show you the bottom part of the brake per se. Let's try to move it closer. Yeah. Like I said, it's not very, very hard to do, but you have to understand how this works, and this is really the adjusting collar, let's call it like that. And with this tool, yeah, so I could compress the pads just barely touching the rim, and after that it's just a matter of screwing the set screw there. So I just have to cut this wire and put an ending on it. This cable, I mean, leave maybe an inch and a quarter, something like that. So it should look good. So basically, the way to adjust your brakes is to first start by giving yourself a little bit of leeway. So loosening the adjusting collar. Just about halfway. So when it's time to adjust the final adjustment, you'll have room. Then it's just a matter of stretching the cable to barely touch, or just maybe a millimeter before. See the wheel, I keep it moving like that. And when it's in that position, I can start tightening the screw on top of the cable pretty tight. Then I'll do the adjustment, yeah, as best I can. Move it a little bit closer or further. It's a matter of looking at it, feeling it, and Yeah, try to put that tight after so it's not loose. So when you adjust it, it'll stay in place. It's fairly tight. See, I go a little bit lower, then I recheck that the bolt is really tight. And yeah, I noticed that release there, the little release lever was a bit loose. So I'm going to try to retighten it a bit. No, that's too big. I need a smaller hex. Yeah, let's try this one. Yeah, just got to be a little bit tighter. This was really loose. Yeah, seems to be really tight. I check if it opens. Yes, it releases a little bit, but the tires are so narrow. It will go out easily. Recheck the tightening one last time. Yeah, when I'm satisfied with that, I'll check the braking lever, and it works perfectly. Yeah, that's how you adjust your brakes. Simple as that. So now you have the view of the side of the bike, and you have a better idea of the way the cables go in. So try to put everything as straight, as you can. This black one, I mean, I can see the damage here, and it was rubbing. It was way too high. The curve was like this, so it's not efficient for the brake. And yeah, the Jaguar kit came with those cable protectors, or rather the frame protector. So I put one there, but it shouldn't be moving anymore. So all I have to do, everything is, I mean, the cable's already going through the returning mechanism. And what I'll have to do now, like I said, use my tool, compress the brake pads, and yeah, get everything nice and snug, and then we adjust it like that. So I'll try to do some footage of that if I can get a better angle. Yeah, I'm not I'm sure you've guessed it by now, I'm not a bicycle pro, but I did work on bikes before when I was a younger man. And I really want to get this one, nice looking, and most importantly, riding well and riding safely. So I'm going to spend a little time on the rear brake and try to adjust it. The front one, I could get it even tighter, but it's really good enough like that. Come on. Can't ask for more. Everything has been re-greased, re-lubed. This should work. Okay. So let's move in closer on the rear brake. Well, good morning, guys. It's the next day once again. And yeah, I finished installing the brake cables last night. Pretty happy with that. Yeah, everything seems to be working correctly, but of course we'll know on the first test drive. So the plan for today, two things I want to do. I want to fix this, the anchor. I manage, using tape, I managed to isolate the anchor there that's come loose. So one thing I'll try to do is to maybe put some JB Wells epoxy, because it's gray. So maybe I can put some around that will hold this just tight enough for me to put a screw for the water bottle cage. Doesn't have to be super tight, especially since there's two. This one can go in tighter, this one can be a little bit looser. so I don't break the seal once I redo it. We'll try that. But most importantly, well, I've got all the parts for the drivetrain. I got the, I showed you this. I got the bottom bracket bearings yesterday. So I'm going to try to refit all that properly. And my concern is, I'll try to show you this on the back, cog. I don't know if you can see this at this point here. Look how close it is to the triangle, to the frame. I know it's not in the right position. Once it's tensioned, it's going to be like that, but it's still not a whole lot of clearance. 3-4 millimeters, maybe. So I don't know. Maybe I'll remove the remaining 2 millimeter spacer that I left in. There was 4. I took one out. Maybe the solution will be to remove it altogether. I don't know if it's going to angle the belt too much and it's going to rub somewhere, but we'll see. I'll try to, after I install the bottom bracket, I'll try to put some tension on the wheel, on the belt, and see how it goes from there. If I have enough, if I feel I have enough clearance, yeah, I'll leave it like that. If not, I'll remove one of the spacers. See what I mean? It's awfully close. I know there's no tension, but even with tension, I don't know. It feels like it's too close for comfort, but hey, we'll see. One step at a time, right? So yeah, let me get set up and swap this. So this time we're going to use copper grease so it doesn't seize up. Yeah. Probably too much. I don't care. I'm never going to work as hard as I did to remove this contraption. Yeah, so for the first part, I understand this correctly, it doesn't have to be really tight. Might as well put the grease on the other side as well while I'm at it. So I was saying, if I understand this correctly, when I removed them, they were loose. They were almost just hand tightened. So I won't put too much pressure. So on the drive side, it's the shortest side of the spindle. So it's lefty tighty. I might just put it a little bit tighter than and just by hand, you know, just for the principle. Just a little bit. Like that. And then do the same thing on the other side. So, okay, folks, yeah, after working, I don't know, an hour and a half, 2 hours on the bike, this is what I got. Well, first of all, the epoxy, the JB weld that I put around the anchor there, the socket, if you will, for the bolt, for the cage, worked. Seems to be holding okay. Doesn't have to be super tight, but yeah, I put fairly big amount of torque, and it's holding. So I reinstalled everything, bottom bracket and the belt, and I almost got it. You know, there's no spacers now, because I thought with the two, I did a dry run with the 2mm spacers. There were two for 4 total, so I put one. Like I said, I would split the difference and do a test, and it wasn't bolted very tightly. It didn't sound good, so I removed it completely. And yeah, let me get on the other side. It's I don't know. It's almost silent, almost. But at this point here, yeah. See, it catches here. There's something, it's harder here. You can't feel it, of course, but no, doesn't run smoothly. So I tried adjusting it. Yeah, at this point here, there's something, it goes, I feel it. Like I feel every notches. So I'm gonna take the wheel off, remove the rear cog, and put the 2 spacers back on. So that will be 4, and we'll see where I'm going with that. If I'm improving or making things worse, I don't know. But I have to try something, right? Since Trek is not helping because they didn't keep any information on that model. You know, it was produced in 2009, but they did the model until 2012, 2013, something like that. So it's not, hasn't been that long, or maybe I'm getting old, but to me, 12, 13 years is not old. But They don't have the specs. That's my point. So I have no starting point. So yeah, okay here. Also, I put the same kind of decals, protective decals that I had tried, the transparent one, and it didn't stick. First of all, the glue was shitty product. So, and I could see through the defects from the remnants of the old glue through. So I got one, a black one that, it's an imitation of a carbon fiber. And on the backing, when I peeled it off, on the backside, I sprayed some Gorilla Glue adhesive. And that, my friends, is not going anywhere. It's really, really solid. So I think with the blank scheme going on, it looks okay. It's going to be, protecting a little bit, but it's mostly to hide the imperfections. And I don't think I've mentioned this before, but originally the district came with a solid metal chain guard here. It was gray with some orange lines. It looked good, but nobody kept them. It made the bike look like a kid's bike, even more than that. Speaking of kids' bike, I really like the orange bottle cages when I first built this bike, but I don't know now. I think with all the black, maybe black ones would be better. We'll see. I might put one orange, one black, or if I can find one or two identical, black with some orange accent instead of this. Maybe it's a little bit too flashy. Although, yeah. Just to give you an idea, this is the original bottle I had with this bike. I thought the gray was, in line with the gray, the color scheme. So, see how perfectly it fits? I rarely use two, maybe, and I prefer this one, using this one than this one. Maybe I'll just remove one, and when it's really hot outside, or if I plan to do more than 20 kilometers, I might use both. I don't know. Details, okay? For now, let's try to make sense of this, because it's not noisy. Can't say that I hear the belt, but I just feel it. And I did check if it was because the bottom bracket was wrong or something, but no. When there's no belt, it turns absolutely freely, so there's no resistance there. Everything should be okay. It's really the alignment. So if it's too deep, it's got to be crooked that way. If it's too high, it's going to be crooked that way. But it cannot rub on the sides. It doesn't rub on anything. So if it's rubbing somewhere, it's the groove per se, and the ridges are not perfectly aligned. So that has to be friction there from the belt and the grooves. They should be perfectly aligned during the travel. If it's just a bit off, it is going to rub either this way or this way. So it's going to be a bitch to align this perfectly. The only adjustment I can do once the wheel is mounted, okay, those plates, they can go in and out, but they have to remain aligned. I cannot put it like that. Yes, I can twist it a little bit, but the wheel is never going to be centered. I won't be able to align the brake pads perfectly. That's the problem. So I knew it was going to be a bitch. I'm not gonna lie. I did this before, but that was before they changed for the CDX. So aligning wasn't that complicated, and you had the right spacers originally with the bike. Now that I'm upgrading to the CDX, I don't know what is the correct recipe. I have no idea. So I'm gonna try putting the two those guys, two spacers there. I'll try to put those back in and see where that gets me.